タンザニアはキリマンジャロの麓の町モシを出発し、キリマンジャロ空港から次の目的地に向かいます。空港にタクシーで向かう中、途中の検問で警察官から賄賂の圧力を受けました。これもアフリカだなと実感します。辛口？
そうだね。なんか
ドライ。
安い味はしないです。
あ、そう。意外だね。
意外だね。なんかまあブドウジュースに近いけど、でもいいよ。フルーティーで。
私たちは今ザンジバルにおります。ここはザンジバル空港から通りに出たところなんですけども、ちょっとですね、想定外のことがありました。ザンジバルに入るにあたって旅行者、ここの住人、レジデンスじゃなければなんか保険に入らなきゃいけないと、もう必須でじゃないと入れない。で1人44ドル、2人で88ドル持ってかれました。
今年の10月からだって。
2024年の10月からです。
調べ不足でした。
いや衝撃やね、本当に。何を言ってるんだこの娘はと、保険なんかいらんよって感じで突破しようとしたんですけど、やばいやつはどうもあるって監視されて入力するまで監視されましたね。ということでキリマンジャロ空港からここまで来ましたけども、夜です。ちょっとでもねお金の分を取り戻すかのようにローカルバスに乗りたいんですが、ただいまの時刻はもう10時です。
あれはどうかな。
どうでしょうか。ストーンタウンに向かっていきます。空港からのローカルバスは終わっていて、結局タクシーでストーンタウン、街の中心地に入りました。ザンジバルはタンザニアの中でも異質。独自の自治政府とタンザニアとは別に独自の大統領が存在します。今回はザンジバルの光と闇をお伝えします。ザンジバルです。みんなビーチでなんかジョギングしたりとか筋トレしたりとかね、運動してますね。海に入ったりとかで、漁師がね朝の漁を終えて帰ってきてます。朝ね涼しい時間帯にみんな運動してて、なんか健全なね雰囲気がありますね。ザンジバルは2本の動画を前後半でお届けします。今回はザンジバル、そしてアフリカが抱える暗い歴史の部分をメインにお伝えします。いい子でいい。
ありがとう、Thank you。バンバブの実だって。ストロベリー味？ストロベリー味
？This is vanilla.
Vanilla.
With vanilla. No, don't just suck. Seed, no, not
なんかちょっとだけ梅干し的な甘い、
なるほどね。
甘く味付けされた。
the seed out, put it there.
なるほど。
あ、そう。
Test. You see how is it taste before cooking? Yeah. It's sour, like a lemon.
あ、そう。レモンみたいな。あ、そう。へえ。
梅干しみたいなね。
さあこれがねローカルの朝食です。こんなところで食べますよ。さあじゃあねいただきましょう、朝食。昨日ね夜について、夜ご飯まともに食べれてないんでね。
確かにお腹空きましたね。
これは何？チリじゃないのこれ。
何？パプリカみたいな形だけど。
いいよ、ちょっと入れていきましょう。
いきなり入れた。
まあ、塩はちょっとね後で調整するぐらいいきましょうね。さあ、ザンジバルでの最初の食事は、牛煮込みスープ。いきましょう。あらうまいね。美味しいわこれ。塩気はもうね足さなくていい。あ、これ美味しいね。普通にうまいです。
そのチリは辛くないの？
あ、辛いかも。これ入れた瞬間からなんかもうでも美味しいねこれも。いいね。
お、塊が。
豪華ね、これいくらすんのねこれ。
確かに。
値段聞きたいけど。なんかね、今までのアフリカと違って普通に噛み切れます。
そうだよね、今までの全部筋っ張ってたかも。
これうまいかも。チリとかも合うと思うわこれ。これ毎日来たいかもすでに。辛いでしょ。
ほんのちょっとさらっと入れただけなのにさ、おいしい。辛っ。すごいね、本当に美味しい。
でもおすすめしたいのが、この黄色い丸いポテト。これね。これ外がなんかねレモンとかで味付けされててめちゃくちゃ爽やかで美味しい。なんか味が強くないね。だから他のとこみたいに塩気が強すぎるとかなくてほんと繊細な味です。これ街歩きのおやつにもいけます。これね、このサンゴの岩を使って街を作ってるんですね。はい。さあ、ここですね。さあ、シーフードのカレーとここ名物のタコのグリルです。
じゃあまずそのまま。
どう？
香ばしい。
美味しい。
美味しい。美味しい。
素晴らしい。これね、エビめちゃくちゃ美味しいな。これもう食事に集中して動画撮らなくていいかなと思ってたんですけど、あまりの美味しさにこれは皆さんにお伝えしたい。めちゃくちゃ美味しいです。エビ肉厚、うまー。
So here we have 4 places to see, which are the church first, then we have slaves monuments, then we have slaves chambers, then at the end there is exhibition. So you're most welcome.
はもともとね、その黒人奴隷の市場だったところの跡地に建てた教会っていうことで、でも地下はそのまま残ってる部分があるっていうことなので。
なるほど。なんでちょっと建物の形がちょっとね、あんまりちょっと変わってますよね、教会もね。
Slave market was not a building. It was not a building or a house. Slave market was just open space. And on that open space is where auctions for slaves was conducted. So after slave trade was eliminated or abolished in Zanzibar is when this church was constructed on top of that open space. And it's exactly specifically this place. When we say slavery, it's only having and using slaves without buying or selling them. Just to have slaves and to use them, that's slavery. So even Africans, we used to have our own slavery.
Oh.
Yeah, you know tribes? Yeah, I have a lot of tribes like Maasai, more than 120. So when they are enemies back in the days, in the past, they fought. When they fought, the winner tribe made the loser tribe their domestic slaves.
そのポルトガル人たちは奴隷っていうものはやったけど、そのブラジルに連れてったりしたけど、オマーンが初めてトレード、
お金を使って
市場を開き始めた、奴隷を売ったり買ったりすることを始めた。
それを最初に行われたのがこのザンジバルね。
でここ。
So the first market was a place known as Kelele Square, which is down there, but the market was shifted from that place to here because that place seemed to be small. It was smaller. There was a lot of slaves needed, so they shifted market from there to this place of Mkunazini. It's known as Kelele Square.
Kelele Square is in Zanzibar.
Yeah, near the ocean down there.
Kelele Square っていうところに最初やってたけど、ちっちゃすぎたからここに。
Where the Selena Hotel, if you find Selena Hotel,
セレナホテルのとこ
is
ろ、
where the market
私たちが泊まってるすぐそばじゃないかな。
Yeah, so the market was shifted from there to this place of Mkunazini. It's like you're attacking by supplies. You know, the Omanis, they have guns and everything, so then they just attack very suddenly. The local villages, they shoot people, and when they surrender and hands up, they chain them and they took them as slaves. Understand? That was the first technique. Second technique, it was they use tricks or lies. You know, trick? Yeah, so when they go to Eastern Central Africa, that time there was no phone, there's no cars, motorbikes. When they visit a new community, they don't show their true face, their true color, like their enemies. They say like, we are good friends, we are here, we are not going to hurt or harm you, so just we need your cooperation. And they told them like, we want to buy ivory. You know ivory? The elephant tusk. They say they want to buy ivory from the local people. And they say they will pay them for ivory. So local people themselves, they went to hunt elephants for those Arabs, and they brought them ivory. And when they brought them ivory, they tell them like, we'll pay for this ivory, but we are going to pay at Bagamoyo. So just take your ivory from where we are, it's Congo, it's Malawi, it's Kenya, up to that place, Bagamoyo. They say there at Bagamoyo, they'll pay for ivory and for transportation. Because there's no car, train, so the only way of transporting ivory was using human beings. You understand? So people, they walk, they hunt first, they kill elephants, then they take ivory and transport ivory up to Bagamoyo, hoping for good payment. But when they arrived to that place, Bagamoyo, those Omanis, they took out guns, they kept them under arrest, then they took both ivory and people.
Just count.
Yeah, you understand?
Yeah.
That's why the place is known as Bagamoyo. It's Bwagamoyo. Yeah, so Bwaga means lay down or live. And Moyo is heart. So lay down or leave your heart. That means there is no hope. So they used to work with ivory happily, hoping like you're going to have enough money as payment for ivory and transportation. But at Bagamoyo, they realized that was a trap. They can't fight back. They lost their identities as fathers, brothers, and members of family. They can't be fathers again. They left kids and wives hopeless, so they can do nothing. They can't fight back. They don't have guns. So they say, okay, let it be. That was Bwagamoyo.
So, is it a Swahili word?
Yeah, Swahili.
Ah.
Yeah, it's from Swahili. Yeah, because that was the main port. So all slaves from Congo, from all parts of Eastern and Central Africa, were collected at Bagamoyo first before shipping them to Zanzibar here for market. Then they use collaboration.
Collaboration.
Yeah, so the Omanis and the African chiefs, sometimes they used to collaborate.
Oh.
So Omanis gave African chiefs guns, then African chiefs they hunt other Africans and sold them to the Omanis.
なるほど。
Yeah, they hunt their fellow African tribes and sold them to the Omanis for money or for guns. Like literal food and water, harsh sun, wild animals, diseases, walking. And approximately walking took from 1 month up to 3 months. Can you imagine walking for 90 days with a heavy chain around your neck, hungry, ivory and everything? That's why more than 20% of them died on the way. Yeah, so those who survived up to Bagamoyo, it was less than 80%. After there, they correct them, they took them in those boats by the time that used wind, then they took them here to Zanzibar for the market. Market was here. Understand?
Yeah,
So because market was here, market was twice a week. So in 1 week, they have at least 2 auctions for slaves. You know auction? You know auction?
auction, yeah.
Yeah. So there was 2 auctions for slaves twice a week. And slaves, they had different prices in the market. So the female slaves, they had different uses. There is this culture of having suria. When you say suria, it's something like official concubine. You know concubine? Yeah. So it was very common here in Zanzibar also. And most of the young girls from 13 to 17 years old were taken as slaves. And that was the group of the most expensive slaves in the market by the time. But for other slaves, for them to be either expensive or cheap, it was depending on different factors. One of the factors was their physical appearance. The muscles that show strength, number of teeth, weight, height, age, and gender. You understand? So how they look like. Them seem strong and resistant to diseases and challenges. So if they seem strong, means they have good price at the market. But apart from that, there was different tests to verify if they are strong and worthy to be bought in the market. The first test was there in the chambers. We are going to see the chambers later. Small underground rooms and with very small halls as windows. There's no toilet. Where you sit is where you're going to ease yourself to pee and poop, exactly where you are. And then there was no food. Food was only brown sugar and water. And because market was twice a week, so they stayed there for 2, 3, up to 4 days with brown sugar and water only as a food. So that was a test. So if you die there means you failed, and if you survive means you passed the first test. But the final test was there. So before this church was built, when this was open space that we used as a market, there was a big tree in front of high altar. You know the high altar? Behind their back. That was the final test. They whip them in front of the customers. So if they cry, they'll be considered to be weak slaves. And most of the customers, they don't want to buy weak slaves, because if you can't endure a small pain of whipping, means you are not strong enough. And it was not a small pain, it was a heavy pain, because they whip them very harshly. You understand? But if you are weak and then you don't cry, means you are strong. Then prices was high and demand was high. Okay, the one who abolished slave trade, it was the British government. British government, they abolished slave trade because of different reasons. There was 2 sides. There are those who believe on humanity. Like they say England or Britain did that for fraternity because of Christianity and human rights. That one side. But other side, they have different views. They say England did that for their own benefits. You know that Britain or England used to be the first people in the world to invent machines for industries. We call it industrial revolution. And after machines, because before themselves they used to be slave traders. They were involved in buying and selling slaves from the West Africa to America. But after machines, there was no need of slaves, because most of the work that was done by slaves can be easily done in by machines and efficiently. So then they want to shift to move from slave to machines. But also they want market. They invent machines, so they need to sell their machines to other countries. So for them to have the bigger market around the world, they have to make sure there's no slaves. Because slavery was like alternative of machines. That means if they stop slave trade, they make sure nowhere they'll be selling slaves. Means everyone they'll need machines and they can buy machines from them. And this market was closed on 6 June 1873. Even though Sultan and other slave traders, they opened secret market, another place known in Mangapwan. So slave trade was abolished in 1873, but it continued secretly until 1909. So 1909, it was the true end of slave trade in Zanzibar.
How it can be.
So you see this? These are the slaves' monuments. The real chain that slaves were chained during slave trade. And even places use pictures and image of slaves to create this realistic appearance of slaves. Yeah, and this man behind who is not chained, in Swahili we call him Nyampala. That means he was one among slaves, but those Omanis, they tricked this man also. They told him like, you're going to be like us, you're going to be a leader of other slaves, so just control your fellow slaves and make sure no one escape. Then at the end, as a gift or reward, you're going to make it free as a gift. So if you control the slave, make sure no one escape, you'll be free at the end. So this man, who was one among slaves, and he used to control his fellow slaves on the way, but at the end, he was not released to be free. He was also chained and sold like other slaves. Okay, so these are the slaves' chambers. Before there was more than this, before there was more than 13 chambers in this place. But the missionary, after they began to construct the church, they want to construct this building on top to be a hospital. So during construction, they destroyed the other chambers, but these two remained for history, memory, and evidence. So there was other chambers in this place, other rooms like this. So in this one room, they kept 75 female and kids in just one room.
Just one room.
Yeah.
75.
5. Yes. And down here, this was a toilet. And the small holes we see there, that was vents or windows for light and oxygen. Yes. And the other chamber there, the other room, they kept 50 men. Yeah, that's why they died for suffocation, starvation, diseases. Imagine 75 people. It was very tightly closed to each other. And even this is what they're supposed to use as a washroom, as toilet, but they can't move. They are very tightly closed with each other. They have chains. So sometimes they decide to pee and poop where they are. And sometimes they don't have anything to pee or poop because the food was only sugar and water. That's how it was. So it was a very tough test. Yeah, because if you die here, means you failed the test and you're not going to take it at the market. And if you survive, means you'll be taken to the market to be whipped again. That was the final test. And if you cry, means no one will buy you, then you'll be taken back here until the next market. Yeah.
There's no hope.
Yeah. For 3 days. Yeah.
恐ろしい奴隷貿易、ザンジバルを知る上で決して避けることのできないストーリーでした。最後までご視聴ありがとうございました。次回の動画もお楽しみに。